chewing. And I've got a half a piece of gum left over from a previous video, so I'll pop that in my mouth as well and continue chewing. Put the packet to one side. Plug in my power bank. 90%. Right, and the power bank powers the light board. 2, and 3. And I'll keep the little ruler there to give the map something to focus on whilst I, is it while or whilst? I feel it might be whilst I start the map tracing, map drawing of Norway. Actually, I always had this feeling that I'd done the Norway map before, but I think what happened, I did the Sweden map and did this sort of interesting coastline of Norway whilst doing the Sweden map. I think that was back, it was probably back in the good old days when I used to draw them freehand. I think when I first started the maps, around about the beginning, I traced them, and I got a bit of criticism in the comments. So then I started to do the freehand. Some were better than others. I always remember being really impressed when I did the freehand drawing of Italy and also Japan. There might have been some other ones. salmon, I think, was the one thing that I noticed. North, south, east and west, and it's Norway, or the Kingdom of Norway, Concorrect, Nork, or something to that effect. Okay, so now with the magic of editing, I'm going to take the light board away in 1, 2, 3, put my hands there like that, and that's where I'll put them back when I come back from taking away the light board. Okay, I'm back from taking away the light board. Let's start time to do some colouring in, which might be, even though it's kind of a skinny country, I hope it's okay to say skinny, slim, narrow, maybe, hopefully. It's going to take a fair bit of colouring in to do all the little ins and outs. And I did the Finland map, then somehow or other I joined it up here to the ocean up here, which might be the Norwegian Sea. Okay, so what I should do, first of all, I'll write the Norwegian Sea, the Baltic Sea, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, and Russia. So Finland has this big border here with Russia, but Norway also shares a border with Russia. Okay, back to the colouring in. Oh yeah. So yeah, somebody wrote a comment, I think I read it this morning, and they said, in a YouTube comment that is, yeah, said, with the recent success of Norway at the World Cup, you should do a map of Norway. And I thought, that's a good idea, but then I had this thought that I'd already done it. Made a quick search. Oh no. I hadn't done Norway. That actually joins on there. That little, I made that an island, but it's actually part of the coastline. And they did reasonably well in the World Cup. They, unfortunately, in the quarterfinals, saying you was wrong, but pretty much. Okay. Pretty much, so the goal was disallowed, but if he hadn't, the ball flew well over both Harlem's and Erling Harlem's and the English defence head, and was headed in. I think it was headed in around the back of the box. And yeah, that really didn't affect the goal being scored. I didn't feel, but it was foul play, but it had to be punished. And the goal to be retaken. So the corner kick. Anyway. There was footage tonight of him getting off the plane. Erling Haaland, that is, back in Norway with a taxiderm raccoon with a bottle of some alcoholic beverage. Wrong one, wrong sharpener. Just I did say at the time, I've just forgotten now. Shavings. Anyway. Not much shavings to do this time. It's a little bit of brushing this time. I do more brushing at the end, so then yeah, anyway. But, you know, there's no use crying over spilt milk, I suppose. For Norway fans, but I just thought that was interesting. Might have been. I'm recording this on, I think, Wednesday night. So I've already watched France be beaten by Spain this morning. And tomorrow morning is England, Argentina. So I'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it's then we've got tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, 5 PM. Then we've got Sunday morning at 7 AM for fourth, the third, play off a third, and then Monday morning at 5 AM. That's Australian time. We've got the final with Spain v the winner of Argentina and England. I wonder what it's like to play in that playoff a third match. Whether all your motivation's gone from them. I've no idea. I suppose whether the intensity remains or you're really just playing off the thirds. So watch it and see. It's always interesting with the World Cup, you know, in the group stages there's matches every day, and then in the rounds there's matches every day, in the early rounds, and then you get to this point which is sort of the exciting part, and you've got to wait a number of days for the match. It always seems I know exactly, I totally understand why, but the players need a rest. Getting ready for the next match. But it always just seems a little bit time. I still haven't got a red Sharpie. Anyway, I'll do it in pink. Norway. Underline it. And I did it in red. That's because it's the flag colour is red, white and blue. I'm using blue for the ocean, so okay, so capital Oslo, and Oslo is where apart from the capital, it's where the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded every year or announced in Oslo, sorry. What did I say? Oslo. A few towns: Fredrikstad, Kristiansand, and what's interesting is all the major towns are here. Well, yeah. There's a few sort of smaller towns as you go north. This is my favourite, Hammerfest. It's a bit like, what was that, does MC Hammer Time, is that right? Oh, here we go. Stad. Oh, the towns are on the coast. Narvik. And down here it's Bodo. There's one that's Trondheim. With a little O above it. Alsund. Floro. The O's got a wrong one. That one there's got a big line through it. Circle above the A, Bergen. Drammen. Apologies for my pronunciations. Stavanger. I'm sure not them right. Okay, so there we go. There's a map of Norway. Okay, that's pretty exciting. So what's there to know about Norway? Alright, I'll start there. Norway, or the Kingdom of Norway. Population, only 5.5 million. I had this feeling it was going to be about 10 million. 10 million, anyway. 5.5 is what it is. It's a constitutional monarchy. You've got King Harald V and Queen Sonja. Nobel Peace Prize. But the other Nobel Prizes in Oslo are announced here in Sweden. You know, there's science and other things. There was a famous American in the last year or two who was hoping to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Skiing. a Norwegian invention. It's a Norwegian invention. And what I found interesting, although not necessarily surprising once I thought of it, 98% of it is from hydro, as in hydroelectrics, not hydro. Well, the hydroelectric style of hydro, I suppose. And the world's longest tunnel, longest car tunnel, road tunnel, is in Norway, which is at 24.5 kilometres. Links Ardal and Orland. And in Sydney, in Australia, we've got WestConnex. When I thought that, I thought, what the hell long WestConnex is, because I've been on that many times. It seems to drive forever. But ours is only 22 kilometres, which is, well, it's one of the major ways to get to the airport from the western suburbs of Sydney. WestConnex, that's an aside. So, Norway beats Australia by 2.5 kilometres. Vikings. That's what I thought was interesting. Denmark, which is Norway and Sweden, they were the Vikings, which were the radians, raided into Europe and then England and places. But Vikings they were only Vikings up to 1066 from year 7 to 793. And then with the Christian the spread of Christianity, and they became more settlers and traders rather than actually just coming in their longboats and raiding and taking what they wanted, which is interesting. It was interesting watching the footage of the World Cup, and all the Norwegian fans were doing the row, I think they were sort of saying row. They'd all get together at the stadium, and then there was one on an escalator, set of steps with them, all doing the row, and then in Times Square, thousands in Times Square, doing the row. I think the fans have a lot of fun. There was footage of the Australian fans. It was near Dallas Stadium before the Australians took on Egypt and lost, unfortunately. But they invaded a Walmart store in Dallas near the stadium, and they're all singing as the Australian bands. I saw it on social media somewhere now. Yeah, the fans have a lot of fun at the World Cup. And then exports. Things like seafood, salmon, oil and gas and minerals. Famous Norwegians. I always think the famous people is Edvard Munch's, which was there's a painting called The Scream. It's a really famous painting. Right, so there's a man, he's got his hands over his ears and there's all these sort of lines and things on it. I saw the same painting, but they changed the man to Homer Simpson. There's another one. And there's Roald Amundsen. He was an explorer. Led the expedition to the South Pole. Not sure if he's famous in other places, but he's famous in Australia. And I should mention Roald Dahl. I've always wondered why he's an author of children's books, but his father he's British. But he's got a Norwegian name. He's got a Norwegian dad. But he was born in Britain. And he wrote those Big Friendly Giant. I'm going to think of any of his other books. I've read a few, I'm sure. Oh, I can't remember. Okay. That's all, Mum. Facts and figures. About. Oh, okay, well. It's like that. That's it done. Dusted for. Now, as always, I should have said this at the beginning, but I promised Jacob to give him a shout out. Jacob Thunder. I don't think Thunder's his last name. Maybe that's his YouTube name, I'm not sure. He said, please give me a shout out. I think he had some different map requests. He could be different. A state in an American state he might have wanted me to do. And I'm sure that would be interesting, doing different states in America, but I've still got a stack of countries to go, so I'm just concentrating on the countries at the moment, and then I'll go and look at other things to draw. We've got many more years of drawing the countries. Lots of countries in South America still to go. Probably not that many. Chile. I like to do Chad in South Africa. Oh, what about Kenya or Zimbabwe and all those places? Yeah. Oh, lots of interesting countries. Okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to shout out to Jacob Thunder. So